James plays game.
That's me!
Yo, dudes, break out the SPF 5000, because we're about to show these bums what it feels like to get seriously burned. So you ready to get rolling? Start off by knocking out the stuff that'll rack us up some serious points. Come and see me when you're ready to move on.
Hey everybody, welcome back to James Plays Tony Hawk's Underground 2, or in this case, Tony Hawk's Underground 2 Remix, because we are taking a look at the first of the levels exclusive to the PSP port of this game. First and foremost, let me just mention, the audio there might have sounded a little strange, aside from it sounding like two different recording sessions done months apart. A little crunchy, a little crackly, and that is either because of the emulation or that's just how the actual game sounded. But I could not find any way to properly address that. I tried different settings, I looked for answers, all I could find was other people having the same issues. So I'll try to do a little bit of post-processing, a little bit of audio editing, see if I can clean it up, but you will have heard by now whether that worked or not. At least it seems to be isolated to cutscenes. The rest of the game doesn't have that issue going on with it. Anyway, here we are. This is Santa Cruz. The PSP port of this game was handled by Shaba Games, and they are no stranger to doing ports of extreme games. They did the PS1 ports of Matt Hoffman's Pro BMX and Tony Hawk's Pro Skater 3. And they got their start by making Grind Session, which was essentially a competitor to the Tony Hawk series, so interesting little bit of connection there. So when it came time to make this port, they included 4 new levels of their own making, and those actually do show up in the classic mode for Tony Hawk's American Wasteland. So if anything looks familiar to you here, but you never played this version of Tony Hawk's Underground 2, then maybe you played Tony Hawk's American Wasteland. Anyway, we can start going around here. Oh, by the way, we are a robot wizard. Probably should point that out. I'm not going to let this go. Wizards are canon in the Tony Hawk universe. I don't care if you guys will be on board with me with that or not. It's true. Deal with it. Alright, let me go ahead and jump over this van, or not, get hit by the van, and bounced off. Take 2, there we are. So we get car hop, and now we can go into this rundown excuse of a building, and try to get another gap. We want to do a lip trick on this wire, but sometimes the game does not properly acknowledge your collision, and you'll just pass by the wire. But we got it. We got high in the pool. Now we're going to smash up some windows here. And the way that I like to do this is I start on this wire and start grinding, and you get a nice little pass through some of the windows. Then you got to just do a little jump across a gap there, and then jump and grind that gap. And get around the top. Those boarded up windows, you got to do a sticker slap on. Just take a little bit of a break to get that spat tag. Yep, the spat tags are here in these levels as well. And then the last 2 windows are down there. So, all done. And this text you would have seen before when we did Boston. Speaking of which, this level in this version of the game actually takes place before Boston. So after this level, then you have the choice to go to Boston. So this is essentially the first level after training in the timeline for the story mode. So I could have done this first for my videos instead of Boston, but I figured I would want to start with something a little more familiar to people before jumping into something that might be totally new for them. Also, hopefully, maybe I'll be able to better space out the remix levels amongst the normal stuff there. Alright, got a couple more gaps. We got this quarter pipe here. We're just going to do a little grind and then a jump up and grind on the ledge above. And that'll get rail to ledge. We'll stop over here. Hello, guy. Excuse me. Alright. We've got the parking meters, and we need to smash up 5 of them. And you could just do a little kissy on top of them with a grind, but you can also do the nada spin. And if you line it up, so you're looking at everything nice and straight, you can actually jump from one to the next. Nice and simple. And you can get your 5 spins in one combo with really no difficulty at all. It's so much easier to do it here than it was to do in Boston. Speaking of nada spins, we got a fire hydrant here. Let's go ahead and do a bit of business on that. And note that Bob Burnquist is over there across the street. Now we'll go down here, and here's another set of 4 parking meters. And that's where you get your 5th one. Now, as long as we're over here, let's run up this ramp and spray another tag here. Alright. You know what? There, you can see that nice and clear. Do with that what you will. Head on back over here, and we're going to go on top of the hotel here and do a little grind along this quarter pipe, and then jump up, or not, no, we're not going to grind the quarter pipe, we're going to go up. Well, let me just show you what we're going to do. Sometimes it's just easier to demonstrate. There we go. So you just grind the ledge over here, and then you jump to the outside ledge. Now we're just going to get a little bit up over here. Gonna head towards this quarter pipe, and then we're going to do a big old spine transfer down to the street to get the Hotel QP transfer. Head down this road for another one of these spat tags. We've got this low quarter pipe with the road block, and we're going to launch off of that to the roof. Hopefully, maybe. Yep, okay. Sometimes this wire will catch you up. But there we go. We're going to grind this planter and then do a flying jump to the other planter, and Rev was here. Who was Rev? I don't know. And now we got one more thing we're going to do. Just one more gap for now. Actually, that's a lie. We're going to have a bunch more gaps, as we're going to go in a roundabout way to get back to the skate park. So we're going to go up here, and we're going to grind above the hotel doors, jump and grind this ledge, go up, spine transfer, big ol' spine transfer, get spine into the pool. Oh, and I didn't quite get it. That's a shame. That is an opportunity to air 100 feet in this level if you pull that off with just enough height. It's a little tough to get consistently, but that is a way that you can do it. I'm not going to be too pressed about showing that off, though. But I am going to show off this other gap. Greenhouse Gamble. Just another spine transfer there. Over here is the Derby Bowl, and we will be revisiting that eventually, but for now we will ignore it and try to kick ourselves up off of this little kicker by the benches onto this ledge, and then we are going to jump across to the wires above. Hi, again. Are you following me? Go away, you. This is a little bit of a trouble for me, but we'll try our best. Okay, there we go. Now at the end here, you'll get kind of popped off, but you jump just right. And you can get onto these power lines above the skate park. And then just jump from one to the other to get wire hop. Now we are back in the skate park. And we do have a familiar looking kid who has a mission for us, but there's also a few more gaps that I prefer to get out of the way. You could combine the two and try to get these gaps while you're doing the mission, but these are kind of a pain to get. So I just prefer to focus on doing them first. This is supposed to be a hip transfer. It's called hip trip. And you're supposed to launch out of this shallow ramp area. I don't even know if you would call it a half pipe. And land on the slope of the ramp here in front of us. But it doesn't work as a hip transfer. So you need to kind of launch yourself out and just land on that slope. And I find the best way to do that is to get off your board and just try to control yourself in the air. But even then, it is a bit of a pain to get. But there we are. You have to land on this slope. You can't land up here, can't land down here, can't land in between. Now we're going to get one other. We're going to transfer up one ramp and down the other. So just a little light angle to going up the ramp. And there you go. You got ramp transfer. Now, for a hip transfer that does sort of work, we launch ourselves up and off of this fun box into the pipe. Hold on. Okay then. Okay then. As I was saying, gonna go up and then acid drop in to get 90 degrees of separation. Then we're just gonna launch ourselves up and do a lip trick on the bridge here for a high lip. There's a red and white extension right there next to us. It will not register the gap if you do a lip trick on that. So just be aware of that. Now, let's go talk to this kid. As I said before, in previous games, they have a mission where you have to do tricks that show up on screen, and you saw a variation of that in Boston. This is the traditional version of that, where just the tricks are coming up, and we just gotta do them. Also note we have an actual timer on screen this time. So this isn't too difficult, but you might want to try doing this at the same time you're getting the gaps in the skate park. And I may have made them look easy, but they are not always that easy. And you might focus too much on trying to get those done and lose track of time and then not have enough time to finish the mission. I'm not saying that's what's happened to me many times, but I'm saying it might happen to you. And there we are. So we are done in here. We'll go ahead and head over to the pier next. We have a couple missions out this way. And actually, I'm going to get a couple gaps along the way. I'm going to grind this white rail, and then we're going to do a nice big old jump over to this rail, and then up onto the awning for another grind. So we get rail hop and pier rail to awning. Turn back around, and you may or may not have seen, I can't remember if it actually showed up on the screen with my angles there, but ta-da! There's a spat tag hanging up here. And that's 4 out of 5 tags. And those are all the tags that we're going to be getting with our little robot wizard. I'm going to mix things up a little bit and get the last one with a different skater, just because it lines up a lot better to do it that way than to constantly switch around. We've got a boat, and we've got a rope, a wire. So we're going to grind that across the boat there. And that lets loose the fishing trawler. And that will extend a little net out into the water that you can grind on. So we freed the boat, and now we're going to go onto that net. Because you might remember we needed to find some hidden sea lions, and you might be hearing them. So let's go find them. Just follow this around, and it'll curve back underneath the pier. And there we are. There's our first sea lion. This wood here, you can keep grinding it, and it will launch you out on top of the pier. But it'll create a nice big old hole in the pier, and I like to avoid that. Also, you can see the remaining 4 sea lions hanging out over there. Let's just splash ourselves into the water, get on top without breaking anything. Head on over this way, and then just kind of do a little drop down here. And there you go. 1, 2, 3, 4. That's all taken care of. Done here at the pier. And I think... yeah, we've done most of the stuff that we're going to be doing with our Robo Wizard. So let's go over here, and I'm going to switch to Bob just to activate his missions. I'm not going to keep playing as Bob. So we will actually play as him and go over those goals next time. But for this video, not so much. But the reason I switch over to him is there is a team challenge that activates with unlocking his goals. And it just seems like it works out a lot better for me, for my route here, to go ahead and get that started. Let me go ahead and hit focus here so I can keep talking. We go around this wire here. It's a nice long grind, and it's got a pretty sharp U-turn on each side. But there we are. We've done that with our Robo Wizard. And we got around the world for it. Now, you might have seen it said 1 out of 4 wire grinds, which is strange. Why would it be 4? There's only 3 people on skateboards, right? Well, you could technically have a person on a vehicle that would also need to do a grind, but actually, as far as I am aware, all of the bonus levels here, the guest characters are on skateboards, and that is definitely the case here, as you will see eventually. But let's just do a quick talk to this guy. There are people to talk to in the levels. I don't know why he's flashing. That's just the thing that's happening sometimes with characters. But he says that the guard over here won't let anybody onto the boardwalk except for Zephyrus, which is quite a name. So just keep that in mind for next time as well, because we're going to the Derby. We've got this place, this little volleyball dirt section, and then we have the actual Derby bowl. We need to try and do a grind from one to the other. So there we are, Bollywood to Derby, and here is our celebrity guest. It's the surfer, everybody. So that's all the goals we're going to be doing with Robo Wizard. We're going to switch over to the surfer, everybody. Yay, it's the surfer, it's that guy. Would have been funny if it was Kelly Slater again, if they had brought him back, or if it was actually like a reference to the Dogtown Z-Boys, but I don't see any distinct connection between the character model and those guys. But yeah, so he does use an old style skateboard, so there is that. And he unlocks a trick slot, and he comes with not 1, but 2 tricks. Let me go ahead, and here's the Surfer manual, which looks great. And we got the Derby combo by accident. We needed to get a 30,000 point combo while in the Derby Bowl, and we did, just by screwing around. So let's just keep on going here. We need to do a focus jump out of the Derby across these 3 logs, and we have to do a 180 melon while we do it. So let's go ahead and try. There we go. World famous Derby gap. Text from Bam. Even in the PSP version, Bam's got some serious problems. He reminds me of that one friend that we all had in school who took things too far with the jokes. I was that one friend. Anyway, now we have to do a combo line, and it starts by grinding along this ramp by the porta potties. And we just got to do some jumping and grinding. Oops. Just a hair too long there. That's fine. Failure is not a big thing in these games. Here we go. There. We got bench hop for going from bench to bench. We're going to get bench to rail for some reason. I'm going to focus here. Then we got to jump and hit a bench again. So yeah, there's a real delay in how that bench to rail gap procs, and for some reason you get like 2 or 3 of them as you go around. It's very strange, and I also would not really call this a rail, but oh well. We're going to get a couple more gaps here. And I'll show off the longboard grind as we do that. Need to grind all the way around this derby rim here. I know I derided focus for being a good idea, but the game not being difficult enough to really warrant it. But I gotta say, I do appreciate its existence, and it has proven to be quite useful during recording, because it gives me more of an opportunity to kind of walk and chew bubblegum at the same time, as it were. There we are. We got the outside derby rim, which suggests the existence of an inside derby rim. And as soon as I will find a spot that the grind will work on, we can get started on that. Go ahead and focus again, just for the heck of it. When you got a big, long grind with lots of twists and turns to it, I just feel better doing a little slow motion and getting it done versus trying to do it without the slow motion and risking screwing it up while I'm talking to you guys here. That said, if I were just doing this by myself, like I do for the practicing, I'm fine with messing up, and I'm fine with not using the focus, so I still stand by my saying that this game is a bit on the easy side, and focus doesn't help too much. Unless you're making videos for the internet, I guess. Here's this guy, and he wants to race, despite not being in a motorized wheelchair. The nerve he's got. And this is going to take us around the level, but we are going to end up back at Derby, at the Derby Bowl. Get over the bridge stairs for doing the spine transfer there. Oh. Bounced off the thing there, that's fine. Don't actually have to do anything here except touch that ramp. And let me just see if he's behind us anywhere. I can't see him, can you? So this is another instance of, as long as you get a good start, you do not have to worry about losing that race. Here's something curious. I didn't address too much, but you might have noticed when I was looking at my goals. We're done with this level. I mean, we're not done, but you only need 400 points. Which kind of... It's not bad. I mean, we definitely are on sick difficulty. But it's strange how they only want you to get 400 points for this introductory level. it's not a bad idea, you know, kind of ease you into things a little bit more, but it's quite a jarring difference when I was first practicing this level and trying things out. That just all of a sudden it said, I'm done, I can move on now. Anyway, let's go ahead and get this surfer to go around here and get his part done. And I believe that will end up being the end of this video. And next time we will switch over to Bob for real. Okay? Okay. So, I will see you all next time. Love ya. Mwah. Bye-bye.